Hello and welcome to the 120 Hours TEFL or TESOL Masterclass. TEFL or TESOL is basically a dynamic and rewarding field that refers to the practice of teaching the English language to non-native speakers. It opens doors to global opportunities. TEFL teachers work with students of various ages and language proficiency levels to help them develop their English language skills, including reading, writing, speaking and listening. Throughout this course, we will provide you with the necessary resources you need as a teacher for TEFL or TESOL. In the first module, we will explore the fascinating world of human language and its significance in our lives. So, let's get started. First of all, let's begin with human language. Human language is the expression of human consciousness with an intelligible set of utterances. It has a rich history dating back at least 5,000 years. However, many believe that people had the ability to communicate long before that, evidenced by ancient cave paintings. There are three primary functions of language: communication, expression of human consciousness, and expression of identity and creativity. One of the reasons why the English language is so popular over the world is the human drive to express one's identity. Now let's explore four theories on how we learn language, which are the innatist position, the interaction hypothesis, the socio-cultural theory, and emergentism. Innatist position is based on Noam Chomsky's universal grammar or UG theory, which proposes that all humans are born knowing the fundamental rules of language. It argues that UG is why it's easy for humans to learn their first language and that access to UG lessens with age. This is why it's harder to learn a second language in adulthood. Secondly, the interaction hypothesis argues that social interaction is necessary for second language acquisition, or SLA. A native speaker must speak to a learner comprehensively and give them feedback on mistakes. Thirdly, the socio-cultural theory argues that development occurs in interaction. This differs from the interaction hypothesis. The interaction hypothesis argues that learners internalize language from the interaction, whereas this learning theory is social and happens on the spot. Finally, emergentism offers a new way of viewing language. It argues that in using language, we change it. Emergentists reject the innatist position. They propose that language acquisition draws on previous encounters with the language. These encounters, such as text messages, can offer new ways to use language. Now let's move on to how we teach language. As we already learned about the theories, we should also know that basing teaching on a single theory is impossible, and there's no single way to teach language. However, there are a few basic guidelines you should follow. So let's take a look at these guidelines. Use debates, discussions, reading and writing tasks to help learners successfully communicate. Include form-focused tasks to help learners develop accurate form, grammar and lasting knowledge. Promote autonomy among learners by incorporating surveys, self-assessment and self-directed learning. Let learners develop awareness by learning the language's pragmatics. They should also learn how language constructs power relations. Now it's time to look into teaching English as a foreign language, or TEFL, and teaching English to speakers of other languages, or TESOL, and find out if they differ from each other. TESOL is for teaching non-native English speakers living in an English-speaking country. It helps with using English in daily life, such as going shopping or eating in a restaurant. TEFL is for teaching learners in a country where English isn't used in day-to-day life. It involves working and living abroad and is most often based in school classrooms. TEFL is also needed by private language schools, universities, businesses, government-sponsored programs, charity organisations, religious organisations, and private tutoring. There are a few more things we should know about TEFL, such as 1. The main focus of TEFL is to convey the English language in an understandable yet engaging way. 2. It uses methods including listening, speaking, writing and reading tasks. 3. TEFL teachers also use course books, audio-visual aids and technology-based materials. 4. TEFL seeks to educate students in grammar, vocabulary, reading, listening comprehension and speaking. Can you identify the difference between TEFL and TESOL now that you've learned what they are? We believe you have the answer, but don't worry if you don't, we've got you covered. Despite having different meanings, TEFL and TESOL are often used interchangeably. TEFL focuses more on the academic side of English, while TESOL focuses more on daily life. So let's hear a story to get a better idea. Once upon a time, there were two ambitious students named Alice and David. They both dreamt of studying abroad in an English-speaking country to enhance their language skills and gain international exposure. Alice chose to pursue her studies in the United Kingdom. She enrolled in a prestigious university in London to pursue her passion for literature and writing. Before her journey to the UK, she had taken up TEFL classes in her home country to strengthen her English language foundation. Armed with her TEFL knowledge, Alice felt confident in her ability to communicate and navigate her academic journey. On the other hand, David set his sights on studying business in the United States. He secured admission to a renowned business school in New York City. In preparation for his American adventure, David had participated in TESOL classes back home. These specialised lessons equipped him with essential everyday English skills, enabling him to handle day-to-day interactions, such as ordering food at restaurants, asking for directions, and engaging in casual conversations with locals. So basically, students who want to study abroad in an English-speaking country would have probably learned English via TEFL. When they go to an English-speaking country, they can learn everyday English via TESOL. Now let's look at some basic etiquette for teachers. As a TEFL teacher, you'll encounter students from different cultural backgrounds. Understanding and respecting their cultures is crucial to creating an inclusive learning environment. So we have some tips for you on being a culturally responsive teacher. Let's take a look at these tips. 1. Assess your own behaviour and be aware of your actions. 2. Adapt your teaching and review your teaching practices to check what works and what doesn't. 3. Get to know each student's cultural background by speaking to them on an individual basis. 4. Foster an environment where the students view culture with an unbiased opinion. 5. Be inclusive and teach content that includes the different cultures of your students. Now let's end this module by discussing how to get started in the world of TEFL. There are a few steps you can follow to get started in TEFL. Let's take a look at these steps. Make sure you can speak English well and learn your destination's language at a basic level. It will be much easier to find a TEFL job working abroad than on home turf, so we recommend applying abroad. Start looking for jobs during summer, as contracts usually start in September or October. Figure out if you need a visa, travel vaccines and travel insurance ahead of time. Save up some money and don't close your home bank account. That's all for this module. We hope you enjoyed it and learned a lot. In the next module, you'll learn about different types of linguistics in detail. So keep watching and we'll see you soon.